playing again in that episode that always makes me think of you, is playing the Nick Cage one.
Oh, Nick Cage?
Yes.
Oh, the one with when Abed watches all the Nick Cage movies?
Yeah.
I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat.
I think it's the hardest I've ever laughed at that show. That shit really gets me.
It's amazing.
Yeah, his pretty good Nick Cage impression.
Oh, I know.
I'm a sexy cat. It's so stupid.
Oh!
And he's like leaning back with his like pelvic there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. Just makes me think of you every time.
Just because how much I love Nick Cage.
Yeah, and because I remember you sent me that once, and I hadn't seen that
Oh, that's
episode
right,
when
yeah.
I first started watching Community, and I hadn't got to that season yet.
I guess that's the final season.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
wait, no, it's not. It's the second to last season.
get all my beverages ready.
1, 2, 3, 4 today. That's what's fun. It's like I'm kind of like more of like a beverage like work. I'll have like 2 or 3 like beverages like around my workstation and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'll be like sipping off of like a soda and then a Red Bull and then a water.
Yeah, I have like 6. I found this here from last time. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
really?
sweet.
Yeah, period.
Static in a bottle.
How do you pronounce that actually?
Perrier.
Perrier.
Yeah, static in a bottle.
Static. Oh, because it's sparkling water.
That's what it tastes like. It's what I imagine static to taste like.
Oh. Oh yeah, we need to go in.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing out there in the world?
I'll stop talking about my beverages. Welcome to our beverage podcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hope everybody's enjoying this new year. New year, new me. That's what they say. Ha ha ha.
Who's they?
I don't fucking know. People.
Sure. Cool. Yeah. Welcome to.
It's a phrase. It's a phrase. New year, new me. Have you not heard that before?
Yeah, it's always bullshit.
No, exactly.
Yay! It's January.
Something.
Cool. It's a cool month.
We're in pretty good moods, actually.
Yeah,
I think
no,
we got high
good.
spirits.
Yeah, I'm stoked I got all my beverages. So yes, today we're reviewing a movie today.
Yes, it's review week. This week we are going to be discussing There's Something About Mary.
1998 again.
Not again. We haven't done a 98 yet.
Yeah, we have.
Which one? We've done a lot of 99s.
No, there's one.
Because I don't remember us talking about Titanic being the number 1 in the box office.
Was it Faculty 98? Yeah, Faculty.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was
Faculty
so long
was
ago.
98, yeah.
Wow, it's so weird. It was like, 16 weeks ago, and it feels a lot longer.
Holy shit, it totally was.
Yeah.
Hey, happy 16th episode, everyone.
Wait, I don't know if that's right. This might be like 14th or 15th.
I don't know. No one's really counting.
What? Our Ups and Counters counting.
Anyways, yeah, so we're doing
There's Something About Mary, directed by the Farrelly brothers. Yeah, it's got a 7.1 on IMDb. It was July 15th, 1998.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it was actually what's the end of the year? Number 3? Number 4? Number 4. And it was number 4 in the box office for the year, which actually, for a comedy movie like this, very surprising, but I think it was because of the names attached to it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, definitely the Farrelly brothers, because they already had their huge hit with Dumb and Dumber.
I actually think this is number 3 because it's the 3rd highest grossing film in North America at the time. Yeah, 3rd. Yeah, I think it's 3rd.
So no, it was number 4 for the box office for its calendar. So I was wrong when I texted you.
It still confuses me.
So think about it this way. So like in year, let me pull up the link real quick. Just so I'm actually looking at. Yeah. So in year means it's like in the year that it was released. So like it was released in 1998. It's only going to count the money of 1998 sales. Calendar grosses is more for like how much the main, like, because Titanic, which is number 1 for 1998, was released December 19th. So the only way for it to be the number 1 movie of 1998, they got to count sales going into
The following
year. If I'm doing this correctly, because otherwise, because yeah, Titanic was the number 1 selling movie of all time. That was the first movie to beat Star Wars, wasn't it?
I don't really know anything about Titanic. I can't sit through it.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen it like twice, and I'm like, I'm probably never gonna watch it again.
I mean, that's fair.
It's long.
Yeah, it's like 3:15.
I say that though, but I'll watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but also it's not. It's like 3.5 hours of Leo and Kate Winslet slowly drowning. I mean, there's more to it than that, obviously.
Explain a movie badly. 3 hours of Leonardo DiCaprio slowly drowning. That's not funny, Jack. Anyways, that was pretty funny.
So yeah, I mean, just really quick, so for like the top 5 movies that were released this year in '98 were Titanic, Armageddon, Saving Private Ryan, There's Something About Mary, and The Waterboy. Very weird year in movies. I think I remember us kind of talking about this, maybe a little bit in the faculty. Like, it's a good year for movies, but very odd year, especially like just looking at the top 5, you have 3 big dramas and 2 weird comedies, like offbeat comedies, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that is weird. Well, actually, yeah, this was a good year for movies. Oh yeah, we did talk about this because I was like, because I remember.
I don't think we really talked so much about like the top 10. Or
no, because I got on ranting and I was like, "Ooh, Mask of Zorro."
Oh, that's right. You were just like, "Oh, look at this!
Oh, look at all these movies I like."
Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, another piece of candy.
Lost in Space. I'm doing it again.
Get off it! Get away!
Okay,
bad talking. All right, let's actually focus on the movie and what and all of that now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, directed by the Farrelly brothers, Bobby and Peter Farrelly, who, looking at their IMDb, I knew that they'd done a lot of stuff together, but I didn't realize that their IMDb page is literally almost exactly identical.
Yeah, they just worked together a lot.
It was literally they directed together every single movie, produced everything, and wrote more or less all the stuff they did, like stuff that
they were involved in the writing a lot.
Yeah,
they're very hands-on.
From Dumb and Dumber all the way till Dumb and Dumber came out in '94, all the way till Three Stooges in 2012. Literally,
there's a Three Stooges movie in 2012.
Yeah, starring Will Sasso.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah.
Oh weird.
Yeah, it's a kind of biographical.
Oh, I totally check that out. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's actually
I missed that. Oh, weird.
It was kind of a step away from what the Farrelly brothers generally do.
They're a very particular type of humor.
Yeah. So it was kind of weird to see them kind of like attacking a like biographical.
Yeah.
You know.
I think another weird one is Osmosis Jones.
Yeah. No, I had no idea that was them.
Love that movie.
But also makes a lot of sense if you think about the humor.
Once you know, you're like, oh, totally, got that.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah. No, but I just found it weird from '94 to 2012, literally the exact same IMDb.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow. Like, that's just impressive. I mean, I guess it might, like, there's, like, I in writing, there's a couple of things where, like, Peter or Bobby would, like, do, like, it looked like they maybe did, like, a script doctoring type thing and they just got, like, a writing credit.
Yeah, or, like, there's ones where it's like, technically they directed it together, but one of them was uncredited.
Yeah.
For whatever personal, I don't know what reasons exactly, but
yeah, it's a Farrelly Brothers movie, and if you're not familiar with what they have done, obviously we just said Dumb and Dumber. They also directed Osmosis Jones, as you just brought up. The one I'm trying, Me, Myself, and Irene is another one of their biggest ones.
Shallow Hal,
yeah.
Stuck on You.
Yeah, they got some duds in here. That's
The one that really kind of tripped me out, well, it was obviously Osmosis Jones, but also Fever Pitch. I thought that was random.
Fever Pitch, which one was? Oh,
Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon.
Oh yeah,
she's like
yeah. But it's also, if you really look at this, they have a lot of like strange, like they do a lot of romantic comedy ideas. They're just like,
but just like a weird take on them.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like
that's kind of an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah, because There's Something About Mary is definitely like a very absurd romantic comedy. You know,
really not PC.
No,
I was blown up. Oh god, we'll get into that. But
dude, neither is like. I mean, look at the other one that they directed, Kingpin. That movie is so far like so much more not PC.
Which one's your favorite
out of this list?
Yeah,
probably Dumb and Dumber.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm torn between Kingpin, Me, Myself, and Irene on Osmosis Jones. Kingpin's really funny.
Kingpin's hilarious. I love Kingpin, but Dumb and Dumber is just a classic that brings me back to my childhood, super hardcore.
I like Kingpin because it's kind of a dark comedy. Dude, in a lot of ways.
Some of the one of the grossest scenes in that is like when Woody Harrelson sleeps with his landlord.
I don't want to talk about it. I can see her teeth in my head. I don't want to talk about
It's
it.
her leg that gets me every time when she's rolling up her stocking.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I was going, nope. Out.
Woody Harrelson is
But also
gold, and Bill Murray is gold in that movie too. It's a great. I love that movie.
Because
It's a
also
great
she's
movie.
really pretty in like real life.
Yeah.
That woman, but they always like make her like.
She's got kind of like a very like a pinched kind of like tight looking face where you can like sharp features that you can turn into like kind of like meh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is her name again?
Magda's her name, and there's something but Mary.
I gotta stop writing so small.
Lynn Shane.
Lynn Shane, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn Shane. Just to like, if for some reason not context, like the most recent thing I guess is Insidious.
Yeah, that's
she's the medium in Insidious.
Mm-hmm.
She's very pretty, but in these movies they always make her like a creature.
So yeah, so moving forward from director, let's talk about the Farrelly brothers did have a lot of sense, I think, in like writing more of the story, but writing the screenplay. But the story was created by two people that had been working together as well for quite a few years.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Decter and John Strauss wrote the story together, and they worked on things together such as like Boy Meets World and Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, I saw a lot of like TV.
Yeah, a lot of TV,
like almost young adult.
Yeah, exactly. They wrote the Lizzie McGuire movie.
I remember liking that movie a lot.
I don't remember the movie. I remember liking the show.
The show was great.
Yeah.
That and Even Steven then.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That early 2000s Disney Channel.
Mm-hmm. That was some good
With
stuff.
when they have the wand.
Yeah, they had some good stuff on there.
That's so Raven.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too. That was a really good era.
Do we want to go down the list?
No.
You want to talk about the Alley Cat strikes or Brink, the movies? Remember the movies? Johnny Tsunami. Smart House.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
I used to actually record those movies.
Uh-huh.
Like I would actually I had a collection of VHSs where I would, because they did a new one every month, and I would always record it so I could watch it whenever I wanted to.
Yeah.
Instead of just buying it, I recorded it.
A bunch of those are probably on Disney Plus.
Yeah, they all are. Rufo and I spent one of the first nights we had Disney Plus watching Brink together.
Cool.
Yeah. So going back, so I mean, this movie does have like, it has that like love element, that romantic element to it that I think like, you know, down and out guy, you know, and girl that's pretty, that all the other guys like, you know, very much like that late 90s, early 2000s formula that I could see like Ed Decter and John Strauss kind of like, or maybe they like wrote this story and it was meant to be like, maybe it was like meant to be more like an innocent comedy, and the Farrelly brothers are like,
hands on it.
And the Farrelly brothers are like, we'll make it innocent for you.
Yeah, we'll keep it real PG.
Yeah. So, not much to really say. I mean, do you have anything else to add with them?
No, I mean, because the only thing that really stood out to me, like that I thought was just kind of interesting, was that Ed Decter, he did the Santa Claus 2 and 3.
Oh yeah.
Which I just thought was only interesting because the first what?
Sorry, I'm just remembering Dan Harmon has a huge rant about Santa Claus 2, and it's fucking hilarious. I'll show it to you later. Dan Harmon, the creator of Rick and Morty and Community.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What was it? Oh, just because like the Santa Claus and then the Santa Claus 2 and 3 are just so drastically different. And
yeah,
I never really put together, because once I read that, I was like, oh, that's why they're very different movies.
Yeah.
The Santa Claus is almost like
it's kind of a Christmas classic, actually.
Yeah, and there's also kind of a dark thing, you know, with like Santa dying.
I never really thought of it being dark when you put it like that, though. Yeah,
it's just, I don't know. There's like kind of a dark feel to it,
but it's also a passing of the torch type thing.
Yeah, it's just a very different. And then 2 and 3 are just, I don't know, not. The only thing I like about the third one is that Martin Short.
Yeah, that was Jack Frost.
Yeah, that was the only thing I liked about that one. I just like Martin Short. But yeah, no, nothing really to jump on there.
Cool. Well, let's just really quick go into. I actually have like a fun. I feel like we're rushing through this right now.
Are we?
Are we talking really fast?
I mean,
someone tell us. Are we talking too fast?
What
someone
time
said oh, that's a good call. 15 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe let's take a breath.
I can do my 10-word synopsis.
Let's do the starring first.
Okay.
And just quickly, because I only got 4 that I think are kind of like the most. Really 3, but I counted one extra.
What for the actors?
Yeah.
Okay.
The starring. So it's obviously like lead starring Ben Stiller and Cameron Diaz. And I have a little really fun fact. Well, so Ben Stiller. I really think this movie truly launched his career in Hollywood into another level, into the level that we know Ben Stiller as today.
Whoa.
Because before this, he had really only done the Ben Stiller show. And like small roles and characters and other movies. Like he had a couple of leading roles in some other stuff and directed like a movie like early on. Mm-hmm. But like this movie kind of like put him into a different like grouping in Hollywood. Because before this, like I said, the Ben Stiller show, and then he was the villain in Heavyweights.
Still have to watch that.
You haven't seen Heavyweights?
Everyone has that reaction.
That's just surprising. Like I don't know, because it's such a.
I'm like the only person I know that
fun family adventure. Also written by Judd Apatow.
Indigo probably hasn't seen it.
Well, whatever. And then also he has like his stint in Happy Gilmore as the abusive.
The orderly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Him and like I guess he did do like he was kind of like a Rob Schneider kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that's why him and Rob Schneider like. Got along.
Yeah.
And then also the Ben Stiller show is actually who got Bob Odenkirk.
Rob Schneider and Ben Stiller in a lot of movies together? I thought it was more of an Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider thing.
Oh, good call. Yeah, you're right.
Right? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
That's really strange.
They
kind of blend.
I get it.
It all kind of blends together.
I kind of get it.
So Cameron Diaz, I actually noticed she hasn't acted or done anything since 2014.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I was like,
I didn't put that together.
I mean, I saw like those like posts online where they like clickbait, and it's like reasons why Cameron Diaz quit acting and got a regular job, and I'm like, what? No, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, she hasn't done anything since
6 years. So
the last thing she did was it was Annie.
Yeah, which also didn't know there was an Annie remake.
I completely forgot about it.
I didn't.
Did you see? And then before that was Sex Tape with Jason Segel, which is hilarious.
I want to watch that. I put that on my list because I was like,
it's really funny.
I like those two together because they were in Bad Teacher together.
Yeah.
And I liked their chemistry.
Their chemistry in Bad Teacher was great.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, them starring together would be really cool.
And she also produced the Bad Teacher TV show that flopped.
I don't remember. Man, there's a lot of things I didn't hear about this one.
Huh?
There's a lot of ones I didn't hear about in this, like...
This is around like 2014. I don't know. It's like when we were living together is when this stuff was coming out. Maybe we just weren't really seeing that much movies at that time.
Yeah, we weren't really. I'm just realizing I think we were kind of like in a repeat rut. We were kind of ingesting the same material.
Yeah, and then there's definitely like I go through patterns in my life where like
we were also broke.
That's true too. I went through a depressive time in my early 20s where I just like all like media was just like null and void for me. And then had my bounce back, and then I moved to Seattle, and then I focused so much on Cornish and theater in college that movies were kind of like there were like very few and far and few between would I be able to go to. Mm-hmm. And then once I graduated, then that's when it's like, oh, I can actually go. I have more free time. I'm not at school 60 hours a week.
Yeah, because then I went through my little depressive phase too, and that's when I watched Derek. Remember, you came home and I was like,
crying.
It was supposed to be funny. It's not funny.
It's like, it is funny, but it's sad.
Yeah,
too.
it was just broke down.
Ricky Gervais, bud, knows how to do it.
Yeah, it was just on our couch.
Okay, so also Matt Dillon starring in this, which I just wanted to say, I get confused with Ethan Hawke all the time.
Why?
I think they look so much alike.
That is so weird and so wrong.
I think they look so much alike.
Really? That is really bizarre to me.
I'll think of a movie and I'll be like, oh, that was Ethan, or I'll be like, oh, that was Matt Dillon, and I'll look at it, I'm like, oh, no, it was Ethan Hawke, and then vice versa. Like I could have, when I was looking through Matt Dillon's IMDb, I was looking for Dead Poet Society.
That's really weird.
And then I saw The Outsiders, and I was like, oh wait, yeah, no, Matt Dillon's that one, that white dude with big forehead.
Ethan Hawke is way better.
They look... Dude, pull up a picture of Ethan Hawke and Matt Dillon. Put them side by side. You'll see what I'm saying. Maybe young Matt Dillon, young Ethan Hawke. I don't know. Not so much anymore, maybe. But I definitely always get them confused. And I didn't really like list anything. You don't see it at all?
I don't see it at all.
Okay, fine. Well, I see it. I didn't really put anything of like what Matt Dillon has done. I mean, I just said The Outsiders when he was younger because he probably had the biggest like acting list going into this movie. You know
yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Lee Evans is the fourth one that I put just because I fucking love Lee Evans. He's hilarious. He plays Tucker in this, or Norm.
Yeah.
And like, Mouse Hunt and Fifth Element, he's just brilliant in those movies.
And also, but listen, in Fifth Element, he's not in it a whole lot.
Yeah, but he's memorable.
Yeah, he's very memorable.
He goes with them he goes with them into the cave, doesn't he?
Yeah, the temple.
Yeah, when they're like setting up the stones. Yeah,
it's him, Chris Tucker. And...
when he has the gun and like Bruce was like, I'm just gonna take that right there. Thank you.
That's a really good movie too. We should definitely do that one.
Do the Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Let's save that because that's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a big one. Yeah. So that. And then it has a great like supporting cast as well. You know, like we already said, Lynn Shane, Keith David, Sarah Silverman has a cameo in it. Chris
Elliott.
Yeah, Chris Elliott is brilliant in it as well.
He should have been actually Chris Elliott because
he is Lee Evans for my first. What are you talking about?
Well, no, because of the ending. It's like he
was love blusters.
Yeah, like that was like actually, yeah.
When's the last time you watched this movie?
I think this is the second time I've ever watched this movie.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when this movie came out? 98? You were like 6? You were born in 90. Yeah, you were born in 92.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're like 6. I would have been like 11, 12. And this was like one of my favorite movies when I was a kid.
I could see that with the kind of humor that it is.
Yeah. Okay, so your 10-word synopsis. I guess we should have done your 10-word synopsis at the beginning, but that's fine.
We'll try to remember that next time.
Mm-hmm.
Man accidentally hires stalker to stalk woman he's stalking and exposes other stalkers. It's more than 10 words, but...
I like it, though.
I just wanted to say stalker a lot.
What about reviews?
Oh, yeah. So, I think I've said this before, too. I try to find two that are kind of like opposite. Heather Boerner from Common Sense Media. Sure, the plot may sound... Oh, this is actually kind of funny, too, because it's basically what you were saying. Sure, the plot may sound like your typical romantic comedy, but not with the Farrelly brothers at the helm.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, yeah, that was pretty accurate. And then this one just said plugged in, staff plugged in. I think it was Bob Smithbusser when I went to look at it. Correct me, I'm sorry if I'm wrong. These nauseating R-rated shenanigans don't just push the envelope, they crumble it up and set it on fire.
Say that last part again, please.
R-rated shenanigans don't just push the envelope, they crumble it up and set it on fire.
Yeah, okay.
Which I was like, that doesn't sound very positive.
No, not at all.
But it sounds accurate, too.
I mean, it's yeah. Honestly, I think, I'll go into my review in a second, but I think the weird, crude, R-rated humor in this is really what makes it pop and is really what makes it the movie that it is. Does that, Mm-hmm. I mean, because it's a Farrelly Brothers movie, and that's kind of like what they really leaned into it with this one.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. It's a very particular type of humor.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's got a 7.1 on IMDb, so it's and it's one of the let me pull up a key. It's from the American Film Institute 100 Years, 100 Laughs. It's like number 27th, like best comedy film ever made.
I want that list.
I don't. I mean, we'll look it up afterwards. Yeah. Cool. Actually, the AFI Film Institute has a really cool list. Has really good. They're old and they're kind of older now.
Like I don't think need to be updated.
Yeah, I think like the last one that they did was like 2012 or something.
It'd still be cool as like reference material.
No, yeah, they're great. Because like the AFI is like best films ever made of all time and whatnot. It's like Citizen Kane and The Godfather and Casablanca, like always kind of like rotate through like the number one spot. They're like regarded as some of the best movies ever made. Mm-hmm. All right, so my review is this. Is prepare. I need to figure out a better way to lead into this.
Yeah, you do.
So in a movie that pushes absurdist and raunchy humor to an extreme level, there is something about Mary actually has a heart with a grace of wit hidden inside. The movie itself is a roller coaster of crude humor filled with said witty bits and moments of slapstick. but inside lies the real heart of this film, the love story of Ted and Mary. Ted, who truly can't catch a break or work his zipper properly, finds himself remembering his tragic loss of never being able to go to prom with the sweetheart Mary. Mary, who can't catch a break herself for having that something quality about her that makes every man fall head over heels for her, literally heels for some. The movie gives an actual romantic storyline with solid character development for each main cast and ends up on the happy note of Ted and Mary finally being together. Looking past the crude and over-the-top humor, which is a staple for the Farrelly brothers, you find a lovely story of two people who find love despite all the obstacles they faced.
We should be typing these up and putting them on our website.
I mean, I'm ready to put them up. Like, they're typed up.
Yeah, send them to me.
Okay.
They're good.
Thank you.
But it's also, I think, like, sometimes I also get quiet, too, because I'm one of those people it's hard to be read to.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? It's easier for me to read it.
No, I'm kind of the same way as well. Yeah. But, like, but I hope I kind of, like, I'm trying to read it in a way that even the listeners can, like, really, like, I'm trying not to rush through it.
Oh, yeah.
It is, like, I'm articulate and clear with it, yes?
Yes, you are very clear with it.
Good. I know my first couple of ones were very jumbly because I didn't type them out. I just had them, like, written and scrawled in, like, 3 different areas on my notepad.
Like here and then here.
And I'm like, hey, God, I follow 1. I was literally, like, wrote, like, go to 2. Go to 1, go to 4. I'm like,
I'm glad you got a better system for it.
Oh yeah, so my fun facts that I remember reading was because this movie, like, Mary's a big sports fan throughout the movie. You find, like, that's an inside joke and whatnot. So originally, the Farrelly brothers wanted to have the New England Patriots quarterback at the time, Drew Bledsoe, be the part of Brett. Mm-hmm. But, like, something like that didn't really work out because of, like, scheduling stuff and whatnot. And they even at a moment wanted to actually try to get Steve Young, who was the quarterback for the 49ers, which would have been weird being a 49ers fan in the movie.
Why? Because
why would she leave Steve Young, you know?
Oh, okay.
You know. But eventually ultimately the role went to Brett Favre, which is, I mean, just fucking hilarious.
It was random.
It's so, like, I remember when I first watched it and I saw Brett Favre walk in, I was like, what the fuck? What?
Why are you here?
Yeah. Which was what everyone felt like as he walked in, like, what the fuck is Brett Favre doing here? Yeah. Brett Favre is Brett?
Yeah, because they don't actually ever say his last name.
No, they don't.
They leave a complete mystery.
He's just Brett the entire time. Which is funny, that's actually... I had a really big crush on Cameron Diaz when I was a kid, obviously, but this movie kind of, like, strangely, like, solidified it in a way for her being a 49ers fan. Because I was a 49ers fan when I was younger, obviously.
Aren't you still?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Of course I am.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
No. Because, like, I mean, I remember very young seeing Joe Montana playing, like, remember watching his highlights and whatnot. And it's fun, just like, now that I'm a little bit older, I can, like, pick up a little bit more on the sports humor, and her talking about Joe Montana and like how he was a very underrated quarterback, that he should have been the number 1 pick from Notre Dame and whatnot. And then it's right before he just goes and has this amazing career to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. There's a lot of fun little witty humor in this movie that's like that if you're not paying attention, is overlooked.
Mm-hmm. Or, you know, I don't know any of that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the sports stuff, that's one thing. You got to kind of have the knowledge for that.
Yeah.
But then, like, even, like, when Magda is saying, like, we're going to make you a banana split tonight, and Mary's like, why would you make me a banana split? She's like, because whenever I'm done having sex, man, I always eat myself a banana split. And then at the end of the movie, you see her walk out with a banana split she's eating and the old man coming out. I'm just like, fuck, dude, I never caught the banana split before.
I did definitely enjoy this more than I remembered, but I didn't love it.
I mean, that's fair. I mean,
I really liked the beginning and I liked the end.
You're not really a fan of big, crude humor like this.
No, but like I said, I really like Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah, but Me, Myself, and Irene is a lot more physical, dark comedy from Jim Carrey than, like, crude, over the top, like, cum humor, you know?
Yeah.
The whole, like, hair gel joke is, like, it's really gross. It's probably one of the grossest things they've done.
Yeah.
You know, and like the dog getting the dog dying almost.
Oh, I was pissing myself
when he was resuscitating the dog.
I was yeah, I was pissing myself on that. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
Well, I just like are we going to go into that part now? Is there anything else?
Yeah, we can just kind of like walk through. I mean, we can just kind of walk through the movie.
So yeah, like he was saying too, in the I liked
the beginning of the movie's great.
The beginning's really cool. I really liked the narrator choice.
Oh, the strummer,
Jonathan, because he did the music.
Yeah,
and then he also played himself as the narrator. Mm-hmm. And I just thought it was, I don't know, there's something kind of like whimsical about like he's in the tree and his friend is on with the drum. And
I noticed that other than like the intro, when there was moments of him coming back through the storyline, it was at a moment. It was like kind of like end of an act type thing.
Yeah, like
it's like transition, and it was always at a point when like Ben or when Ted or Mary had either like had a connection or the connection was chosen type thing. Because like the first time you see it from the beginning is when Ted like looks at the old picture of her from prom in his wallet, which is kind of creepy. I think you're a 30-year-old dude still walking around with like the girl you almost had a date with.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of.
There's a lot of things if you put it into real world context in like romantic comedies in general. They come. It's like it's cute to see in film, but to see in real life is like you are a stalker.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in the movie, you're like, oh, and then in real life, you're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second time you hear them is when they come is when Mary and Ted have their meet cute again, and set up the date. And I think the next time you see him is at the end of the movie.
Well, the very first time you see him is like I was saying, he's in the tree, and that's when they're still in high school.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Other than like the beginning one,
mm-hmm.
You know, there's the beginning one, and then the next time you see him, yeah. Oh, yeah. I described that wrong. Yeah.
Well, I just thought it was a cool like theater thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was the narration. Oh, and also call it to Indigo.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, one of the lyrics. What is talking about a girl named Indigo? Wait, where did I put it?
They try to set him up with Tiffany and Indigo.
Yeah. I was like, we were both like, oh shit, look at that. Well, because like I just like that too, because I remember that, and then they did that also. Not that the creators did this in Rango with the owls. Did you ever see Rango?
I have never seen Rango.
But yeah,
it's a Greek chorus idea. It's very theater.
And I really, really like that. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was kind of funny too that their jobs would be changing. You know, they'd actually like there was one where they're like giving out ice cream or something in the background. I just I really enjoyed
it's
that.
Like they became they were the observers. Like of like the surrounding area, they would be the observer that's there, that's kind of watching it happen, and
then break the fourth wall to us in song. Yeah. I just really enjoyed that. Like the whole beginning, I really liked.
Also, the beginning of them being teenagers, I gotta give the good like applause for like how well they acted like awkward teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never really picked that up when I was younger because I haven't watched the movie since I was probably in high school actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually been a minute for me, but I remembered so I watched it so much like I remembered a lot of it. But like their actual like acting, like Ben Stiller's like goofy grin when she like asks him to prom. He's like it's so good.
Yeah.
And like even like Cameron Diaz and like she's like awkwardly like holding her backpack and like kind of squirmy, just like you know, it's like
nervous.
It's like, oh my god, this is such teenage nervous energy that's really good.
Well, they also like and they did it well too with the whole high school thing. They made it really feel like time had passed.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you'll get into those kind of scenes and they kind of seem like out of place or clunky. Like almost like we could have probably set up this entire plot without this.
Yeah.
But this was a really good to help with the timing of the movie.
And it's actually a pretty lengthy kind of like prologue in a way. It's like the first like 15, 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, when he zips himself in that goddamn...
Totally have done that. Not that bad.
Dude, no one's done it that bad. Okay, there's an extended version of this that I have seen where they show it.
Yeah, that's what we saw.
Oh, maybe I just like was looking down at the wrong time.
Well, because I found the same thing. She was like, "Are you sure this is like?" Oh, she was asking about the unrated version. I'm like, "This isn't the unrated version." She's like, "Well, there is an unrated version because they show it."
Yeah,
and I was like, okay. And then as soon as she said that, boom, it was all. I was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah,
there's the ball sack
I
in the
must
zipper.
have missed it it must have been looking down at that exact time because I didn't see it this time. So I was like, what? And then I paused the movie and I'm like, what? Where's the unrated version? That's hilarious.
It could have been. Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
And anywho, that scene, that's where like that's classic Farrelly Brothers humor right there. Is the zipper? It's like the most like the worst thing that can happen to you. And then, of course, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Like, first the dad comes in, then the mom has to come in, and then the cop just appears out of nowhere.
Well, I mean,
in the
but even
window.
how it starts, though, is that he's looking at the two turtle doves.
Yeah.
And just having a cute moment.
Why do birds
suddenly and then they fly away, and she's changing. So that's already the catalyst to this horrible event that happens. You know, it's pretty... For a 17-year-old, right? Yeah. A 17-year-old, that's pretty traumatic.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pretty traumatic 17-year-old moment. Mm-hmm. You definitely talk about that in therapy.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I never noticed, because I never was able to really watch it with I didn't really get into watching stuff with subtitles until like my 20s. You hear lightly in the background, but you could actually notice it, is Warren, Mary's brother's like yelling, "He was masturbating!" Just like, oh my god, dude! Like,
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, he was like yelling that Ted was like masturbating, and like Ted's like, "No, wasn't masturbating." Like, oh, it's so good. I think we need definitely. Side note: if we're doing any Warren quotes, let's not do the voice.
I was already planning that.
And it just kind of slipped out of me right there.
Totally. Tropic Thunder. Not saying it. And I like to... this might be... Okay, let's see. I guess one thing... This is going to come out wrong.
I think, okay, really quick... For our listeners, this movie is not very PC.
It is not at all.
Not at all PC. It's definitely a movie that would like not probably get made. I don't think the Farrelly Brothers could really make anything like this today.
No.
I mean, maybe they could, but they would have to be very careful with a certain like.
Or they just have to own it and not give a shit.
Yeah, that too. Something like that.
And possibly canceled.
Yeah, I mean, because Zoolander 2, it got really like.
I refuse to watch it.
Really?
I absolutely refuse to watch it.
Just because you
I like the first one. I don't think there need to be a second one. I don't care.
You know that like the whole like Benedict Cumberbatch playing like a trans model was like a huge like backlash thing. That. Yeah, 100% backlash thing.
I just know they killed Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I heard.
I haven't seen the movie as well, but I just know these things. Mm-hmm. So we might be bringing up humor that is not the most politically correct stuff that we are going to address, but we might have also found very funny.
Yeah, and it's it's like, you know, it's what we talked about last week too. It's like, it's 1998. Yeah. It is kind of what it is, and take it with a grain of salt. And it's like one of those things. If anything on this list you didn't like, it's because you don't like that kind of humor, and it's just kind of how that's what their humor is. Yeah. And 100% the shit would not be coming out today. Yeah. Like at all. You would have to have, so you would really not to have, like care to make anything on this list, on their list of movies.
Yeah. Because even like the whole Earl W. Brown, who plays Warren. Mm-hmm. He goes full Tropic Thunder in a way. Like he really leans into playing a mentally handicapped character. Like, yeah. And he does a really good. Like actually, I didn't know that he was not an actor that didn't have that wasn't mentally handicapped. I don't actually. There's a different term for mentally handicapped now. It's like more PC one. I can't think of what it is. So
I don't know. It's one of those. I feel like someone will have a problem with any one that you use. Yeah. You know, whatever term.
I mean, that's what I grew up talking. You know, that was like, other than saying the R word, that, you know, that was the proper term to use, was mentally handicapped. But yeah. And
yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah. Like him, like doing like it took me a minute. Like I recognized him also from like later on he played Meatloaf in like the TV movie Bat Out of Hell, and that's when I realized like, oh, that actor is actually and act like, you know what I mean? Like Leonardo DiCaprio, when he played in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, he played a guy that was mentally handicapped flawlessly.
He was in What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh no, sorry. I thought you were
talking
about...
I'm comparing Leonardo DiCaprio
okay.
in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Okay. I was like, I really don't remember that movie.
Oh, let's get back onto the movie.
There's a moment when Ben Stiller is going to pick up Mary to go to prom, and Keith David's right?
Yeah, Keith David.
Keith, not to be confused with David Keith. Yeah, Keith David's. Right? Yeah.
Who's David Keith?
Is another actor.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
You'd recognize him.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of anything he's been in, but you'd recognize him. But he opens the door, and all he just like. And he's acting really hostile towards him, like being the stepdad.
Yeah.
And it just really gave me a weird flashback to Bad Boys 2.
Oh, I can totally see
when
that.
Reggie comes to the door.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And just like that, a really hostile, like, what you're picking up my daughter, that kind of thing.
This? 14, motherfucker, you look 30.
Yeah, I just really liked that because that's one of my favorite scenes in that movie too.
No, yeah.
I liked the hostility.
Yeah, it's dad protecting his daughter, you know?
Yeah, I just thought it was really funny.
Very fitting for that era too, of like the 80s.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh? Because it was supposed to be, so it was like the 80s.
Or like late 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fashion. Yeah, it was kind of, it was like late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It was
late 70s, early 80s.
What is that show called with all those famous people in it? Wow, that was really helpful.
All those fantasy people?
No, famous people.
Freaks and Geeks?
Yeah. Wow,
okay.
How did you get that? I just said that show with all the famous people.
Well, because I figured you were because time, like the timeline.
Okay, yeah. That was good. I didn't think. Yes, Freaks and Geeks. That's kind of that stuff. Anyways, that was.
Anything more you wanted to talk about with Keith David? You know, stepping up on Ben.
Oh yeah, because then Keith David comes in and he helps, and it was that fun like snowball effect of what you were saying, just the getting worse and worse.
Oh yeah, how it just builds and builds.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if you like break it all like from the beginning of him going to the door, it's like first the dad's giving him a hard time and he's all nervous already, so he can't take a joke, and then he's got the baseball for Warren, and he finds out that you can't touch Warren's ears, and Warren just beats the living crap out of him. And then even Keith David's like, ruined my fucking good table, like blaming it all on Ted.
Yeah. Well, then Warren too is like, he broke the table.
Yeah,
not me. He broke the table. It was a very Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents moment.
Oh, very much. I mean, it's a very much Ben Stiller style of humor as well. And Ben Stiller fits very well in the Farrelly Brothers like style as well.
A scapegoat kind of thing. But yeah, so he gets the crap beaten out of him, and then the whole ball thing. Then the cop shows up to the window.
Oh yeah, I love that. It's just the cop just all of a sudden like, hey, I heard a woman scream.
Yeah. Then the fire department shows up.
Yeah, I know. Just like it's like, and then like that. We're just gonna pull it down. Okay, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. 1, 2, we got a bleeder. And like the it's like fall, like they can't keep the wheels straight on the gurney, and it keeps falling over. It's so good. I also find it strange, like how does he not see her? Like, does the family just move that fast?
I guess also because it says when they talk later, it says he was in the hospital for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't think about that.
I mean, it's whatever. I mean, it's a lot of Farrelly Brothers scripts in general. They kind of have just like things just happen because they need to happen.
Yeah. It's the whole how does it work? It just does.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get. I don't really like. I mean, are we going to step through every single moment of the movie? I mean, we should. I mean, we should definitely point out like. I guess the next thing we see is obviously he does the therapy session and a horrible therapist.
Oh yeah, who is that again?
Oh, I can't remember the actor's name.
Like that's the thing about
he's like he's the head FBI agent in Me, Myself, and Irene, and he's also the dad in Step Brothers.
Yeah. That's what I remember. He was also he was in
he's in a lot of things.
Yeah. What is his name? Well, that's what's kind of cool about this movie too, is that it there's just a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was a lot of people that you'd recognize, and they're just really bit parts. They're on screen for 2 minutes, like all together. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like, basically we're seeing this whole story because he's sitting at therapy, revealing it to his therapist, who's not in the room.
Not in the room at all.
Eating a sandwich or something and sneaking back in, and then implies that he might be a closeted homosexual.
Yeah, because he stopped at a rest stop because he was having a breakdown remembering Mary.
Yeah, he was having a panic attack from remembering this whole
traumatic event of his childhood or his teenage years. And the doctor and the therapist immediately is like, rest stop. Those are commonplace for
closeted homosexuals
to meet.
You're like, the fuck did that come from? It was... and then after that, time's up.
Yeah, time's up. Time's up. We'll unpack that next week.
Yeah, it's just like, you're Ben Stiller's like,
what the fuck? Yeah,
yeah. Like,
I mean, the movie does a really good job of of Ted, Ben Stiller's character. He can't catch a break. Like everything that is happens to him. Just like is just the worst thing that can happen to you. And then I do want to point out them that introducing Chris Elliott's character of first you recognize as Dom, and then as the movie, like if you rewatch the movie knowing that he's Woogie at the end, you see little moments of like him revealing it, but you're not picking up on it, which is really clever writing. That's like part of the intelligence.
It's like rewatching Fight Club.
Yeah, it's like it's part of the actually intelligent humor that the Farrelly brothers have in this movie. It's little moments like that. Because I think the first one that kind of like starts to notice a thing with it is I can't remember the first blister, or if it's when they're sitting they're at the bar and he points and he talks about Ted getting his dick stuck in his zipper, and then Ted's like, wait. How did I never told you that? And he's like, dude, I was only 4 towns away. But also like, that's a good way to just like quickly brush it off.
Yeah.
But clearly this guy, Dom, became friends with Ted because Ted has a history with Mary.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. I didn't put that together.
Yeah. His whole relationship with Ted is based on his weird obsession with Mary.
Yeah.
Like his stalkerness never ended.
Yeah.
And he became obsessed with Ted and even like Mary says at the end of it, like, I told you Ted and I went on one date. I told you this in college. You ruined my college time. Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh, whoa, it's so fucking interesting actually. And then I think and then it's just after. I feel like he's actually when he's telling Ted to masturbate before the date. I feel that's him actually trying to sabotage Ted too.
How?
I don't know. Just like maybe she catches him masturbating or something. Something weird. I don't know. Also, very amusing ways of saying how to masturbate through that.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me you spank the monkey before you go out.
Choke the chicken. My
favorite one is flog the dolphin.
Flog the dolphin.
Oh, my God. He doesn't flog the dolphin before he goes out. But no, then as he's leaving the hotel, there's that moment where he sees Mary walking out of the cab, and he just immediately turns and walks the other direction. Because if she sees him,
she'll recognize
him immediately.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Well, because then, so in this, Matt Dillon plays like he's not a PI.
He is.
They called him something else, but he also can do PI. It's not actually what he.
Well,
does.
what he was doing was PI work.
Yeah, but he's not like it's not his job title, but he does. Yeah. Anyways, but so.
Well, it's very interesting when he's introduced, how when he stands up and his pants are just undone.
Yeah.
He's like, what is happening?
Is there someone under the desk? Or?
I think there's a lot of deleted scenes. I would love to get my hands on like a DVD that has like all the cutout shit.
Oh, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But then why would Woogie tell him to hire, what's his name? Healy.
Because Woogie can't hire anybody to go after Mary because of his restraining order.
Oh, but he can have someone else do it.
So if you get somebody else to do the dirty work.
Oh, okay. That makes okay. I was like, why would he help him with that? But then, so yeah, that's another thing too. Well, no, I guess that's not another thing.
The whole story of Pat Healy and Tucker / Norm, like Matt Dillon's characters and Lee Evans' characters, is more of the meat of the movie in a weird way. Like, it's I guess that's more of like that's the meat of Mary's in a down and out thing. Is like she keeps getting these stalkers coming after her, and the whole thing of this movie is like Ted proving like he's not a stalker. He was just a young man in love.
Yeah,
and they actually had a connection. You know, which they point out at the beginning of the movie is that even though he is kind of coming off as a stalkerish, Mary and Ted's connection, their chemistry is palpable. It's amazing.
Well, like, and it's also like, even because when Healy starts falling for Mary, he like tries to portray that Mary is this undateable.
Yeah.
Is like, well, I guess the best way to put it. She has a bunch of kids and
she's in a wheelchair now.
She's in a wheelchair.
Overweight.
Yeah, like
she's getting sold to Japan as a mail order.
Yeah,
bride.
he's saying all these ridiculous lies to kind of throw Ben Stiller's character like.
My favorite one is like, moving out of Miami. Why are you going down to Miami? I got an offer. With who? Rice-A-Roni. Isn't that the San Francisco treat? They're changing their image, Ted. It's just, he's so quick.
Well, it's like, but even like with that because after they have that conversation, he still is like, I just want to just talk to her. It almost is like, okay, well, if I'm not gonna be romantically involved, like maybe I can help her, like maybe it just sounds like
you missed your window, Ted.
Been thinking about this woman for so long that now I
want to go and say hi. I want to check in on her.
It kind of
it's
dims
almost
down the creepy factor.
Yeah, no, like all of Ted's intentions are completely innocent. You know?
Yeah. But then Healy is using his stalking knowledge to create
he starts to manipulate her in a really gross way.
It's creepy.
And I love how like the reveal of Tucker not being Tucker is such a great reveal as well, because Tucker is like this guy. He's in a what kind of crutches are those? Just like arm like,
I guess
it's not like arm like crutches that go into your armpits. They're for people that have like cerebral palsy. And,
I don't know if they have a name. Yeah.
But he's like on walking crutches, and he has a British accent, and he's like this super like bougie like architect, and like is obviously in love with Mary. He doesn't hide the fact that he's in love with Mary. He jokes about it all the time,
like asking her out.
Yeah, exactly. And like she just thinks it's all banter and fun, and like, oh, ha 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 ha. And then he keeps like revealing to Mary that Pat Healy is not who he says he is. He's not an architect. All the lies that he told Mary, he's like showing that they're lies with his own lies in a weird way.
You know, he's not even that. He's like straight up making shit up.
Oh no, he finally makes up that Pat Healy's a murderer. Yeah,
like he was incarcerated at 14, released at 22. Wanted in Washington and for unsolved murders.
Like if you really think about it, he started to describe Ted Bundy.
Did he?
Utah and Washington. He left out Colorado?
Oh, yeah. That'd be funny. Well,
they were in Florida.
Was Ted Bundy incarcerated at 14?
I mean, not 14.
It would just be really funny writing if that he literally was reading Ted Bundy's rap sheet.
That actually, yeah. That's what, when I heard like Utah and Washington, really, and then also like they're in Florida. So like Ted Bundy was in Florida, you know, it was just kind of like, are you looking up Ted Bundy's rap sheet right now? I don't think he wasn't arrested at 14, but he was arrested when he was younger, for like his first murders. I mean, then he escaped. Yeah. But let's not worry about Ted Bundy. This is about There's Something About Mary. Also, it's kind of funny. Ted Bundy and Ben Stiller's name is Ted. Anywho, let's not dive too deep into that. Because okay, so finally, like, yeah, Tucker like is
he was not 14.
Yeah. Okay. Tucker reveals to Mary, like tells all these lies to Mary about Pat, and this is also like right before Mary is about to go on her first date with Ted as well.
Oh yeah, I gotta cancel with what's his name?
What's his name? Fucking yeah. And then finally, like so Healy like follows Tucker to wherever he's going, and then all of a sudden, like Tucker, like, he's like takes off his jacket, he's like he's whistling, walking just fine without crutches, takes his glasses off, takes off his jacket, and then puts on like a red pizza delivery guy jacket.
Why are those red?
I don't know. And then grabs some pizzas out of his trunk and then starts to deliver these. So I just think about this, like, did he just like in the middle of a delivery go to Mary's house in a character, like take a 15-minute detour before he delivered these people's pizza?
I've probably done that. I can't think of a time, but I'm like, I probably have done that.
I never did a detour in the middle of a delivery, but like I would always get the food delivered to the people, but
then do your detour,
and then I might do my detour like back to the store for like gas or something, or never really. I would maybe swing by a friend's place really quick to pick something up, but never like if it was in the area, never like go and like change costumes and like, you know, do a performance art piece, you know. But no, yeah, Healy like runs him over pretty much in the yard.
He's gonna beat the
little hell out of him, and then finally just like Tucker's like, I love him, man.
Oh yeah, he has like a total wailing moment in someone's front yard.
Yeah, it's such a great like character reversal, from Tucker to normal. Tucker's like, come on, man, I'm in love with Mary, man.
Yeah, and like, cause Tucker's like suave and like British, and because of this,
he's smart and
he has this energy to him. Then you got this like blubbering baby,
just this like stoner dude. It's like, oh, like, he walks into Healy's place. He's like, oh, pretty nice pad, bud.
And it's total shithole.
Just like shit on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, like I did like also like with like I like that they changed Matt Dillon's teeth once he heard that.
Oh my god. Yeah.
With these big, the reason I thought it was funny is because the teeth look like the mask. No, it's Cameron Diaz. Yeah. I just saw the Jim Carrey smile from the mask.
Yeah, they're ridiculously large like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's also funny is that she was joking with Tucker about that. That's something that she actually probably doesn't like.
Yeah.
You know,
she was just like
making light fun with Tucker, who at the time was joking about having the teeth, the wooden sticks as teeth in his mouth, you know? So it's like, he's just clearly like, whatever she says, he's just going to try and do.
Yeah.
But it was like when he like flips the script on her and knows that Magda's like listens on his cell phones and whatnot, and he has that script with his friend Sully, played by Jeffrey Tambor.
Yeah. We're back. What was he in that we were talking about last night? Whatever.
Muppets in Space.
Yeah, Muppets from Space.
And just like revealing, like setting up another lie to recover from his lie. It's also like there's at a point where I'm like wondering, like, all these people that are setting up these like fabricated con man like fake things. What do they expect? Is it all just to have sex with her? Like,
that's what I think is, but that's the thing. It's
like,
delusion.
How are you gonna like? Yeah, it's total delusion.
That's
These
all
are
it
delusional
is.
people. But it's like, how are you gonna sustain this if you actually get her to fall in love with you? Like,
yeah, like it really is. It's just a sense of delusion. That's all it is. Because I was thinking the same thing. Like, you cannot pretend to be an architect forever
through an entire lifetime.
Yeah, like, sure, if you want to go to a party, like I kind of weirdly get it. If you want to go to a party where you're never going to see these people again, and you
architect,
and you want to make up, like, I don't know, like,
and you make up a character. I mean,
kind of weird.
We've kind of done stuff like that where we kind of make up a little bit of a persona before we go to a
role
party.
Playing. Yeah, yes, in a weird way. But it's like, I kind of get that. Like, if you're going to a party with people you're never going to see again, and you're like, yeah, screw it, I'm going to say I'm an architect. Whatever, cool. You can't do it for 20 years.
Yeah, no.
I mean, maybe you could.
Oh, I see the gears turning in your mind.
Scary. That's a scary thought. You don't know nobody. My name's not really Tommy.
This is the reveal.
I did like kind of jumping back. What's his name again from Arrested Development? Oh,
Jeffrey Tambor?
Yeah, Jeffrey Tambor. I do like when they introduced him, he's picking up Healy, and he has that big dog in the back. And he's about to go in. And you hear the dog growling. And he goes, does he bite? Yeah, probably. Get in.
No, yeah, he's like, oh, only a little.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. I just thought that was funny. But yeah, the dog resuscitating scene.
It was, oh God.
That was horrible. Like, but it was really good.
I love the way he's like sitting there, he's like, Puffy, and like the dog just goes limp. Puffy, 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 Puffy.
Starts giving it mouth to mouth. Like, what the fuck did you give this thing?
A super Xanax. My God.
Well, then, like, I guess to get in. So yeah, so that's the big thing. So like I was saying, hiring a stalker. Yeah. So Ben Stiller hires Healy, who then in turn becomes a stalker of Mary as well. Mm-hmm. Then he finds out that Mary has another stalker who's Tucker,
actually named Norm.
And then
who fell in love with her because he delivered a pizza to her. She was in her nightgown, and he immediately went home and shaved his beard and cut his hair and made up the character Tucker.
Yeah, they're completely delusional psychopaths.
Yeah.
Because, like, and then you got a weird way, because at least, like, even okay, yeah. So this all happens, and then Ben Stiller realizes that Ted realizes that Healy and Tucker are
working together.
Well,
yeah, because
to get rid of
Mary
him.
gets the anonymous letter that Ted hired Healy to look her up.
Yeah,
and follow her. And then she thinks Ted set up a thing for him to manipulate her into falling in love with him. And he's like that thing.
I did like that they wrote that he didn't deny it.
Yeah, no, because he's a good guy. He has good intentions. And even like when he's like leaving and she's like, get out, and he's like, no, you don't understand. I didn't know he was a murderer. Like, I didn't know these things, but yeah, I did that, but let me explain. And she's like, I don't want to hear it, type thing. And then how as he's leaving, he just kind of gets his last word, and he's like, I did it because I couldn't stop thinking of you for these last 20 years or 15, 10,
whatever it was.
The last years from that, and I just wanted to know if you are okay, and I wanted to maybe see what could have been, type thing.
Well, I like that it throws back to the therapy thing, because he didn't do it until he had his back turned.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like psychological
dropping
your barrier kind of thing. Yeah, but I liked that. I was like, when that happened, I was like, don't fuck it. At this point, don't lie.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's what's really nice is I really like how it unfolds, because you are convinced that either Tucker or Healy were the people that wrote that anonymous letter to Mary. So then when he goes to confront them at the place that Healy's staying, this is Sully's place actually. Healy's like, no, it wasn't me. Why would I fucking throw myself under the bus like that? And blah, blah, blah. Then he's like, oh, it was obviously Tucker. And then Tucker's like, whoa, man, no, man.
And this is also when we find out that Tucker broke up Mary and her last
Brett.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
By making up that he was saying discriminatory things to the brother, right?
Yeah, so Mary talks about this earlier with her little like friendship group, one of them being Sarah Silverman. Hey. That she was ready to marry Brett, and Brett was ready to marry her possibly. But Tucker told Mary that he said like he would have popped the question a lot sooner if Warren wasn't in the picture.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Yeah,
I remember
and then the Mary
was.
is just like, oh, so if Warren is a problem with you, then you are just out of my life.
Yeah,
because she loves her. But and she takes care of Warren and a whole like crew of like mentally handicapped kids.
Yeah,
old grown men actually.
Yeah, well, yeah,
it's a care center. What was the care center name?
I don't know.
Like the care for the exceptional or something. It was something very positive.
I can't remember what it was. I didn't pick up. It's not.
I remember something exceptional in it because when Healy's playing flag football with him and knocking him out and like taking him out, how he like taunts them and like, "Pooh, how's that for exceptional?" Like, just
that's the thing. Healy is just a monster. He's a character.
Yeah,
and I realize that's why I don't like Mike Dillon, because he always plays like total.
Does he always?
Not all the things I've really like remember him in.
I mean, Wild Things and this.
It's like the only two things really that stand out to me. I do want to watch the house that Jack built.
Yeah,
that looked cool.
I was about to start naming Ethan Hawke movies.
What?
I was about to start naming Ethan Hawke movies.
Oh, stupid.
Yeah. So
Daybreakers, Training Day.
Okay. So yeah, you'd set up for you to think that Tucker / Norm or Healy wrote this anonymous letter to Mary. So, but when Ted finds out that it was actually Tucker that broke up Brett and Mary, he just kind of takes off, and you don't see Ted for a minute. And I really like how this is set up. This final like gathering and whatnot.
Yeah, this is like love the beginning, love the ending. The middle, I was kind of whatever about.
You need to take the journey to get the end.
No, totally.
And
I was laughing the most at those two moments.
That's fair. So then all of a sudden, just out of left field, Chris Elliott's character, Dom, is in Mary's house, and you find out, it's revealed that at that moment that he is Woogie. He's the psycho ex-boyfriend from college and high school that was obsessed with that. She had to change her last name from, get it
with a hardcore foot fetish.
Yeah.
Shoe fetish.
Yeah, shoe fetish. Like, I love her. She's like, and you took all my shoes.
There's a moment. This is good. There's a moment where he's like on the ground and she's trying to like wrestle the shoes like out of his hands, and he says something. What does he say? He says like something like, "Just let me have one pair, you frigid bitch."
Oh yeah, right.
I thought it was like just like she's doing something wrong.
Yeah, right.
like it's like, you're psycho.
No, his entire like his like uneasy like twitchiness and whatnot, and like the blisters all over his face and whatnot.
You ever had a whitehead on your eye? You know.
Oh, you're getting nervous. You're getting nervous. You ever had a whitehead on your eye, Mary?
His unraveling was really good.
Yeah, and then I like how she's like, Woogie, you need to go, and he's like, no. I'm not leaving until I get what I want, which leads like it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
And then he's fighting over shoes.
Yeah, he just wants one pair.
What's amusing at this point is like Healy and Tucker or Norm are working together, listening to what's happening in Mary's apartment. And when like he gets violent or like that
when he's getting scary,
they actually jump. I mean, which is I would go and try to say if I was a stalker. Where's my mind going right now?
To all the lucky folks out there that Jacob plans on stalking later.
Hey,
he's got your back.
Yeah, I'll just make sure as I'm stalking.
He's watching over your shoulders.
I'm gonna make sure you're safe as I stalk you. Okay, no one will harm you. No one. Sorry.
He'll be watching you.
No, yeah, they run in and they get Woogie off the floor, off the ground or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like Mary's like, Tucker, what happened to your crutches? And he's like,
he tries to fumble like some bullshit. Like he's suddenly...
it was quite a miraculous thing, actually, Mary. And then Healy's just like, cut the bullshit, pizza boy. Tell her who you really are. It's like, gee. And then, like, as they're like having their little like weird powwow, then Ted shows up with fucking Brett Favre, and and Warren as well.
Yeah, and Warren's there too.
And Brett Favre is the fucking quarterback of the Green Bay Packers at the time. One of the he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, actually. And it's just like that whole, like how they're all just like just mind blown. It's such a great like cast out of left field for this movie, especially like knowing like the whole inside joke of Mary being a sports fan in general. Mm-hmm. Of course, like the perfect guy for her would be a quarterback for football.
Yeah. Well, then Woogie tries to get him to sign one of her pumps.
Oh, yeah. Hey, would you mind signing this pump for me? Woogie, shut up.
Yeah. Again, like she's doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You psychopath. But yeah, I mean, then...
it's like, so the final, the final, nail in the coffin type thing for, like, that solidifies that Mary is going to choose Ted, is as Ted is leaving, like, he lifts up the headphones from Warren and says goodbye to Warren, and which shows that, that Warren trusts Ted now.
Yeah, because that's like
he has the ear thing.
Yeah,
because like even like when Healy tries to like lift up the headphones, just socks him in the throat.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's fine. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna go now.
Yeah. Like jumping back to Warren real quick, I just thought because you were talking about. I just remember the first time Warren sees Ted again after the whole incident.
Franks and beans. God damn it! I did it.
Pork and beans.
Franks and beans.
Franks. No, that was pork and beans.
No, Franks and beans.
It is Franks and beans.
Yeah, because the dad asked, like, is it the Franks or the beans? I think it's a little bit of both. Well, you get the one on top.
That's gonna be fun to edit out.
Maybe we won't. We'll see. I'll throw myself under the bus.
All right, man.
We'll see.
But yeah,
he sees him and it's Franks and beans.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny because it still jumps back to he really remembers Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when they do talk, he's like,
Mary's like, he never
really remembers anybody.
He never remembers anybody.
But for some reason, Ted really stuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Well, because Ted...
So you drop kicked him and then he got his nuts tied in a vice.
Let's, like, from the very beginning, like, Ted stands up for Warren when they meet, like, some bullies, like, as Warren's going around, have you seen my baseball?
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, this girl's over here is senior baseball, but she doesn't call it a baseball. She calls it something else. So then he's walking over and he's like, have you seen my wiener? And the boyfriend's like, dude, what's your problem? And it's like, clearly this man has is mentally handicapped, and you're gonna push him around. So yeah, but Ted steps up for Warren. So like Warren like recognizes that, you know, at the beginning as well, and then Ted also like is willing to play with him.
Yeah,
you know, like, piggyback ride, okay, piggyback ride. And even though, yeah, I don't think like Ted was able to like actually gave Warren the baseball, but like Ted being there for the prom date, you know, talking with Warren, you know, that makes an impression on people.
Yeah. But then, so he brings in Brett and basically has a whole conversation about how he just wants her to be happy at the end of the day. Like,
oh yeah.
And then leaves her with Brett and then
everyone else,
all the stalkers. Which I'm like,
oh yeah, because like I don't. Oh, I like how they all kind of team up on Ted, where it's like, you're really gonna sit there and tell me you don't love this woman anymore?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I am gonna say that. And they're like, biggest fucking piece of shit ever. Like I like how it's like he's like the most honest that he can at that moment, and he's just getting knocked down. Like he can't catch a fucking break.
And then as he walks out, he's sobbing hysterically.
He's like blubbering.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an ugly cry.
Yeah. Well, cries pretty.
But so it's this final moment as well. It like leading up to even like the button of the end, like right before the credits. As he's like going back to his car and he's crying, Mary runs out, and like you think it's gonna be like the run after like I still love you, and then she's been fucking with him this entire movie. She's like, you forgot your car keys, and I just love his reaction. It was like looking at the keys.
It's really sad,
and then just like slowly just kind of nods, and then just kind of like. She grabs the keys like, thank you. And then she calls back to him like, I choose you. And he's like, what? How? And then I love it because I'm a 49ers fan. And she's like, I told you when we first met, I'm a Niners fan. And I'm like, yeah.
And then they make out.
And then they kiss, and it's like it's happy that they're finally together. Like they belong together. Like,
and introducing the last stalker.
Yeah, which is hilarious. Just like that, it's like that Farrelly brothers, just like button of the movie for the joke. The old man that Magda slept with, who is also an old I think he's a old fisherman. He just like lives on his boat.
Yeah, and Mary like brings him like snacks when she's going
she's
to
really
work
nice to him. Yeah,
and he is also secretly in love and tries to assassinate Ted.
He tries to shoot Ted.
Straight Oswald style with that old hunting rifle.
Yep, and it ends up shooting the narrator. That's he shoots the narrator, and like that ends the music, and he falls. And the drummer's like,
it just takes off
running, and Ted and Mary are just sitting there still making out.
Yeah,
like as if the narrator is literally still, like it's in another like dimension or something.
Yeah, something like some weird omniscient kind
of. And then boom,
being.
Credits roll. And actually, I never noticed this. That credits music scene. Mm-hmm. What song was it? It's Build Me Up.
Build Me a Buttercup.
Yeah, Build Me a Buttercup. That had to have been planned the entire shoot that they were going to do that.
Why?
Because it's a montage of almost every scene through the movie.
Isn't it a bunch of deleted scenes though? There weren't scenes. Some of them weren't scenes.
But they're actually like choreographed to dancing to this specific song and singing this specific song.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So it was literally like as the Farrelly brothers, as they were filming and creating this movie, they maybe it had to have been at some point in the early production or like before even going into production. Like this song, we want to be the end track, and we're gonna make a music video for it. So they probably. At some point in all of the shoots and locations, they were like, okay, let's do the Build Me a Buttercup thing. So it's like, that was actually, I never, like, thinking about how to make movies, I was actually kind of really impressed with the forethought of that music video.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't catch on to that. Huh. Look at that.
So that's the movie.
Yeah, like I was saying, I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to from my initial feelings the first time I saw it. But again, like we were saying earlier too, it's like if you're
not really into like raunchy humor or crude humor, it's definitely not your thing.
And if you're I don't want to say easily offended, but it's very not
yeah,
politically correct.
I mean, it's a definite reflection of the time period, like the late 90s. I mean, the Farrelly brothers, yes, they go a little, like even at that time they were still kind of like
they pushed the buttons.
They were pushing lines, like the whole like jizz on the ear, like hair gel joke. You know, that I remember that was like super controversial at the time. Like, but that's the thing, is like that was kind of controversial, but like all of the like, you know, like gay humor and like so like stuff that's being said about the mentally handicapped people, that at that time is like people would be like, oh, that's not nice to say that, but like today that's like that stuff gets you canceled. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's just you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's one of those, if you hate this movie, I get why.
Oh, yeah.
I totally get it. Like, totally. Totally get that.
But I was watching it this time around. I was fairly surprised to really, like, my review, like, as I was writing it, I was like, this movie does have heart to it. You know, it's like, it does have a lot of fairly crude humor to it, but it actually it has like a good merit to it, you know.
And it was kind of cool to see this, like the cast is kind of funny.
And it was interesting for me to kind of like really discover this time around, like really that Mary herself is also, you know, down, like can't catch a break type thing. Mm-hmm. You know, because of all of the men that, you know, it's like, like Ted, like in a weird way, Ted and Mary are kind of like star-crossed lovers. You know, they belong together.
And weirdly, like, too, Ted kind of doing this is kind of the catalyst for this ending.
Yeah.
Finally getting, I mean, granted, he like got her a new stalker, but it kind of pulled out Tucker from it. It gave closure to actually what happened with Brett.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even though she chose not to be with him anymore, it's still like, it answered questions that she may, you know, fucking Tucker might have been around for another 15 years.
Yeah, right.
You know, and who knows, you know, that whole thing.
I came into her practice with a broken back. How'd you do that? Friend with a baseball bat. Nice.
But yeah, so.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it. Obviously, I mean, like I said, it was like I watched a lot when I was a kid. I mean, I would recommend you to watch it if you don't mind crude humor.
Yeah,
that's the best way for me to put it.
Yeah, and it's like this, like we were saying with the list too. Just if you've seen any of those movies, it's that kind of humor.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
all the way through. I think the most innocent one is Dumb and Dumber, and even that's not.
Yeah.
Or Osmosis Jones, but that's a kids movie. But
yeah, Osmosis Jones is probably the most like innocent one.
Yeah,
and Dumb and Dumber, it's just dumb humor in that.
Yeah, it's like almost slapsticky.
It's like fart and
poop and yeah.
Pretty bird. Oh god, that's a dark humor. Pretty birdie.
Well, yeah. So thank you. Yeah. I think that's it. Thank you for listening today. Subscribe.
Subscribe. Next week we'll just be doing a regular banter. We'll be just talking about stuff.
We won't be talking about Mandalorian.
We won't be talking. We probably may not even talk about Star Wars.
That would be really impressive.
Let's try. Well, you know what?
We'll talk about Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, there we go. Another nerd thing. No, we got some things that we're watching. Oh, actually, we'll probably be talking about Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, I gotta get on that. Very much enjoying that. So yeah, cool. And I think we're also gonna start posting his reviews on our website.
Yeah,
because I just think that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Cool. So yeah, thanks everybody. Have a good day.
Don't kill dogs. No, let's cut that one.
No, don't. You're right. Don't kill dogs.
All right, guys.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. All right, later.